So PAX Unplugged is over.
It's over.
And we are very depressed.
Yes.
And clearly we had a great time. I mean, my voice is gone. My voice is shot. I thought it would have recovered by this point, but I don't know. It might take a couple weeks to recover.
It's the weather.
Yeah. We did film a vlog for our whole crazy PAX adventure, so make sure to go check that out. But this video, because we're depressed, we need to unbox all of the games that we got at PAX and relive all the memories. Early Christmas morning, exactly. And of course, we want to share with you what games we ended up getting at PAX. I underestimated the amount of games we would got, or the games that we were going to get, because I showed up at PAX and I had like a couple small bags, and I was like, you know what, like, this is all we're gonna need. I'm not really like, I kind of just want to see a lot of things. Were you prepared?
Well, that's I guess you got your bag. I brought the bag, and then I brought the purple one, the small. Like I brought the
so bag. You were way more prepared than I was. And then we started PAX. We're going around, and literally after like the first hour, I remember looking at my hands, being like, there's a problem. We got a ton of games, which we are so excited to share with you today, talk about all these games, because we were able to get some of the games that were on our list, even, and we were able to find some kind of gems that I've been looking for, or Kim's been looking for, and even a couple that we kind of didn't even expect. Oh, there goes Beck again.
A few moments later.
The light's back on now. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying.
We found some gems.
Oh, yeah. Some games that we weren't expecting.
Yeah, some games we weren't expecting. Yeah. Kind of like, for instance, I'm thinking of, I was interested in seeing Corpse of Discovery. It wasn't Corpse of Discovery that, like, caught my eye. It was Harrow County. I just, like, saw it out on the table, and it was similar to the moment, like, where last year, where I saw Tribes of the Wind out on the table, and I was like, what is this? Like, I have to know more. And then I bought Tribes of the Wind. And that same thing happened with the Harrow County. I saw it, and I was like, oh.
The moment we saw that and I saw it laid out, I was just like, Kim.
Yeah, like, because I went in with a mission this time. Last year, I didn't have, like, I just was like, I'm going to film content. I don't know what, like, or I'm going to try to do things. I don't know necessarily what to expect. But this time I had a mission. I had my list. I had the games that I wanted to check out. I was determined to at least, like, sit down and, like, demo a couple games.
Well, we only had one day, which is, like, so limited for PAX. So I, like, purposely, I was like, you know what? I'm not really going to put any expectations on myself, like the way that I went into PAX. I was like, I just want to go. I'm going to see what I'm going to see. I know I won't be able to see everything. I'll just do my best. And primarily, I wanted to meet people. There's been so many people that I've been in contact with, so many different publishers or companies or friends that I haven't had a chance to meet yet just because of distance and other stuff. So I was like, I really want to go focus on meeting all these people and then trying to see the games that I could along the way. So there were definitely games that I missed. There were so many booths that I still didn't get the chance to see or that I missed, which I'm sad I didn't get to see everything, but I feel like I did the best that I could with the limited time. Like, you know, we were meeting people, trying to film content, trying to get stuff. So I think overall, I think we were like spot on. I think we did a lot.
Yeah, we did.
Considering we were only there for a little bit. And it did help that our friend Mark got me in a little bit before it opened, so I was able to get some of that stuff done before it even opened. So I had a few extra hours. But I'm really happy. I think we were able to do as much as we could have done.
Yeah, I mean,
considering we were there for one
day.
Yeah, I mean, look at you will be.
You'll see the hall.
It's actually a good thing that we didn't go for more than 2 days, or
probably
we wouldn't have been able to fit it in the car.
Yeah, you would have just like had games
we were literally packed to the brim. We might have had like one seat free that we maybe could have put something else, but we were packed tight coming back home. But having said all that, PAX was amazing. I am 110% planning on going next year. I really want to go. I don't know if I'll be able to go 3 days, but I hope I can go for 2 days at least next year, because that would just be so much fun. So, I assume you want to go next year.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So next year we're both kind of planning on being at PAX next year, but let's go ahead and dive in to the games that we got for PAX 2024, and I am so excited about these. A couple of them, like, I am particularly stoked about.
Yes, I've like started 2025 like content is just like
It's gonna be boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
It's gonna blow up.
Get ready.
We got it. Buckle up. All right, Kim, why don't you take it away? We'll
All right,
start
so
this
I
crazy
mentioned
unboxing.
this game a little bit already because it was the first one that caught my eye, so it seemed appropriate to be the first one to like talk about because it just, I don't know, made my jaw drop. And that's Harrow County. One of the really cool things about this game is so it's an asymmetric combat game where players can play as one of the protectors or trying to rescue townsfolk, one of the family who's trying to destroy everything, or there's the third player, Hester, who controls the roots of the trees, and she was buried under to infect the other players and devour her enemies, and she infects them with snakes. I was just like, my son's gonna be obsessed with that. One of the really cool things is because it's a combat game, so you're like have dice that you're rolling. It's like built in the dice tower.
There's a dice tower built into the box.
That's ingenious.
It is so cool.
So that was really cool. They had like a huge giant, and maybe you saw Carly's little story where she threw them down on the.
It was so sad. I could have done that for like hours, just
like,
throwing the things down there.
Watch it drop.
It was so much fun.
There is an expansion which we didn't pick up, but I'll have to look into it at
Yeah,
some point.
because this is a 1 to 3 player game, and the expansion makes it 4 players, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really great. I think it'll be a good one to play, and I was obsessed with like kind of the spooky vibe of it.
The first game that was actually gifted to me, it was actually before the vendor hall even opened. I was walking around with Ammon Anderson. He was so sweet. He's the designer. I mean, he designs a lot of games, but primarily Gnome Hollow. You might know him from that. But yeah, he was walking around just introducing me to publishers, and we walked up to his friend, which I can't remember. There were so many names. I can't remember
there
his
are a
names.
lot of names.
I believe it was Envy Born Games, though. And he was like, hey, this is Carly. Like, give her Confusing Lands. And he was so sweet. He was like, okay, here you go. So this is a new game.
Give her this game.
I know. That's literally what he said. He's like, give her Confusing Lands. And he was like, okay. But yeah, so this is a game that I've actually been hearing a lot about. It's just a tiny little card game where you're placing cards, obviously like in certain conditions. And I think you can actually like overlap cards, and you're again doing all of that again to score points. But yeah, it just looks like a cute, quick little game. It's a 2-player game, which I really like 2-player games. Obviously, that's primarily where I play. But yeah, I just thought this was fun. And then he gave a little promo card set as well. So I'm excited to check out this game.
Katmai the Bears of Berks River was on my top 10 games I wanted to come check out.
It was on my
PAX.
short list.
And so when I was roaming the halls and I found it, I was like, oh, yes, there it is. Osprey game.
Well, I say Osprey. I might be wrong.
Osprey. We are not always very good with pronunciation, so don't come at us. We're sorry. He was telling me about how like it's actually based off of like real like Alaskan like traditions and whatnot. It's based off of like this really festive event where the bears eat the salmon and the people like watch like go all out like watch it happen, and there's like cameras
That's
to
so
view
cool.
and watch it.
It's a 2-player area control game, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
So like, oh yeah, it says a dynamic 2-player card game of competitive area control, careful planning, and very hungry bears.
Yeah, those bear cards are so cute. I'm obsessed with them.
Otis,
Obsessed.
Brett, Flo.
Me and my family loved Trio this year. And so the publisher, Happy Camper Games, is now rebranding. They just recently rebranded Surfasaurus Max, I think it's Surfasaurus Max, into Combo. So again, this is just, I think it's just a straight retheming. I've actually never played Surfasaurus Max. But yeah, so in this game, everyone around the table is taking turns laying down cards or different fruits that are worth various values. And it kind of varies based on player count, but when I played, everybody laid down 3 cards, and then after everybody's laid down 3 cards, you take a look at the entire table and you form the strongest hand of 4 cards, or basically making the strongest smoothie or the best smoothie, and whoever cards contribute to that smoothie then actually can score those cards that you contributed. And so it's a really quick game. It's only like really a handful of rounds. And then, yeah, you just score up your cards, the ones that you're able to get, and then most points wins. We sat down and we actually played this last night, and it was really fun. It was kind of hard for Addie to understand, because essentially I think it is just like poker hands that you're kind of making. It was kind of hard for Addie to understand a little bit, but the theme of making smoothies actually did help because you can make a slushie, you can make just like I think it was like a basic smoothie or just some other stuff. So to kind of have that theming, it did kind of help her kind of get with the theme. I think we just need to play it a few more times though to get her to really understand. But I think she is kind of like right at the edge of that age limit for understanding of the hand. I think Jordan actually really liked this one, so that's always a good thing.
Home was another one on my list of games, of the 10 games that I wanted to go check out. So it's an RPG game that is without a GM. And you like are flipping the cards, and the cards kind of determine you make your choices and your actions, and then you kind of like get into that role playing of like, oh, this is what I see, and like the room looks like this, and da 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 da, and then you're like drawing out the map as you play, and sounds really cool. Sounds like it'll be really fun. I think that Carly and I should play and like film.
That would be so much
I think
fun.
There would be some interesting content, and then to see like what our haunted house ends up looking like. Basically bought it on the spot after talking to him, and was like, okay, thank you.
Like, yes. Okay, so I had the opportunity to meet the kind folks over at KTGB, and they were so sweet, and they gifted all these to us. So we got diced veggies, Creature Comforts, which I've been wanting for ages. I've been wanting this game, and then Maple Valley, which is technically like the sister game. It's like the runner-up. In the same world as Maple Valley. As Creature Comforts. But so these ones you are essentially kind of trying to I guess they are different enough because Creature Comforts is all about like preparing for winter. So you're going around, you're getting all this stuff for your home. You're even getting board games for your house.
So cute.
Just like preparing for winter. And then Maple Valley is the springtime after the winter. So it says Maple Valley's annual spring festival is tonight. You and the other animal youngsters are tasked with searching the woodlands for everything the celebration needs. So again, these two are kind of in the same kind of world or universe. They just handed me diced veggies too because they said this is like one that's really popular for theirs. I've heard mixed things about it, but I am excited to try it. You have these pool of dice, and then the game actually comes with like a big wooden knife, and you literally are chopping the dice into certain sections to like accomplish, you're like cooking up meals. Okay. And so you're like chopping it, and so I thought that was kind of interesting and fun. So
it's like one kids would like.
I know. I think it's going to be a really good one for kids. At their booth, they were also demoing layers, which I am so looking forward to. And he said he's like, come back at the end of the day because I might be able to have a copy for you. And I just didn't end up getting back around in time. So hopefully one of these days I can get my hands on layers too.
So Let's Go to Japan was on my list for games I wanted to check out if we had been able to get over to Germany. But
yeah, I know.
That's okay. We didn't make it to Germany,
unfortunately.
Maybe next year. But Carly was able to get her hands on a copy of Let's Go to Japan here at PAX. So I think we're both super excited. Well, she said you got to play this before.
Yes,
I'm excited to.
I'm excited to teach you and to have the game.
Have a copy. So I'm really excited to dive more into this one and to see if it's as Carly says she liked it, obviously. And so I'm excited to see if I like it as much.
It's a really good drafting game where you're drafting activities to plan out your dream trip to Japan. And it has a really interesting mechanism because there's two sets of cards, red cards and blue cards, basically different types of activities. And every time, as you're planning out your trip, every time you switch between a red activity and a blue activity, you actually need to have a train token that basically is representing you going from one side of the city to the other.
I love it.
And so you're kind of managing all these, and some of the activities make you happy and they increase your happiness level. Some stress you out, and so they bring your happiness track down. It's really fun.
Last I checked, it was still on sale on Amazon. So
go check it out. And Josh Wood was actually there signing copies. I told him, I said, I love this game. I think it's ripe for like other areas or other countries. And he's like, where do you think we should go? And I said, let's go to Italy. Like, let's do a let's go to Italy. Yes. And then he said, what's your favorite city in Italy? And I said, Florence. I was like, Florence is my favorite. So I really hope, he might already be in the works of it. Based on talking to him, I don't know. He might be working on something, but I would love a Let's Go to Italy.
I loved Rome, though.
You loved Rome? See, Florence took my heart. My heart will always be in Florence.
Florence was too stressful for me.
Really?
That's good. Yeah, it's a
different story.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about All Play because we got like loaded up with All Play stuff. Okay, so first off, let's talk about, we'll talk about the little games first. This is All Play's like standard small box size, which is, about this size. Then they have their bigger box, which is still small.
Yeah.
And then they have their like mini ones. Are they called mini game? What are they called? They're like extra small. I know they have a term for them, and I just can't think of it. But they have Prey.
It just says Tiny Box.
Maybe it's just Tiny Box. They're Tiny Box series. So they have Prey, Fairy, Rainbow, and Panda. And I hadn't had any of these. So they were like, okay, here you go, which was so awesome. But I'm really excited primarily for Rainbow and then Panda. The reason why I'm super excited for Panda is because I love Trio. And so Panda is actually a rethemed. I think this one is Dog Poker and Cat. I think it's Dog Poker. I think that's the game that's over in Japan, and I think this is the retheming of it. I might be wrong, but I know for sure that the designer of Trio or Nana is the same as this game.
Okay.
So I'm really excited for Panda. And then I'm also really excited for Rainbow. Dice Tower just had this on their list for their favorite top 10 games, top 10 24 games.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't remember who it is now. But, so yeah, he just was going on and on about how much he loved this game. So I'm super excited for that. Then I got Lure, which I have been wanting this game forever. What is with me in fishing games?
Not yet.
I have a thing with fishing games. I don't know
Jordan
what it
likes
is.
fishing,
Maybe.
right? So you're
maybe.
like...
But see, I don't even like fishing in real life. But then you
like
put it in a board
Jordan.
game. I guess that's true. I guess I like the push your luck element that it kind of like you don't really know what you're gonna get, you know? You wager dice to catch a elusive fish. Will you be risky and try to catch the first, or be patient and try to catch the big one? So it sounds like it has a little bit of like kind of push your luck, kind of like when to go for things. Both of these are upcoming games that All Play will be running Kickstarters for the beginning of next year. So Twinkle Twinkle and then Alibis. I'm not entirely sure if Alibis is going to be my thing. They were demoing both right beside each other. I went over and looked. But again, I'm happy to try it. But then Twinkle Twinkle is Ammon Anderson's newest game. And I am so excited for this one.
He has a chance to redeem himself for Carly's eyes.
We were talking about it. They were like, wow, you really hated my game. I'm like, I'm so sorry. It was so embarrassing. But I am excited. You like No Hollow?
Yeah, I'd give it a 7.
Yeah, you give it a 7? Yeah. I would give it a 6. I'd give it a 6. I don't hate the game, but yeah, I was like really excited for it. So I think it just kind
Carly
of
and I need to do a video where we talk about games that were hits or like for but a miss for the other.
Yeah,
sometimes it seems like we have a similar interest, but every now and then there's like, I love this one. I'm like,
no. So in this one, there are these clear acrylic tiles, and you are trying to fill up your grid. And so the game ends once your grid is full of all these acrylic tiles. And all these acrylic tiles have stars or like part of a constellation or asteroids or planets. I found the aspect of selecting the tiles really interesting because you have a color. Everybody has a player color. So like I'll be green, and I have like my little green action figure. And then what happens is everybody has a little action figure at the top of the central board location, and that's where you're going to be pulling the acrylic tiles from. And it's interesting because where you pull your tile, you're going to pick up your little worker, place it on top of the tile that you want to collect. And then the order, after everybody has gone and done that, the order of your little action figures, that's the turn order for the next round. So it's interesting because sometimes you can always see the tiles that are going to be coming into play next. So it's like, okay, do I want to take a crappier tile this time so I can go first to get that tile I really want next time? Lots of different ways that you can slot in to make comets count for this game, or count for this game. So like there's a lot of variability, looks beautiful on the table, and I just love the theme of like making constellations. Whatever your longest constellation is, then you count up all the tiles that makes it up. So I'm really, really excited for this one. I am so excited for you for this one.
Me too.
You have been like talking about this game
Yes.
so much.
I have. I loved it it was like one of my favorite things, and then it was like on my top 10 list of games I wanted to check out. Scream Park, like I said, this was the one I was most excited about. I'm so excited to add it to my spooky collection of games. It's a game where you are like creating your own like haunted amusement park or horror amusement park, and I was able to talk to one of the designers of the games, and he was saying like it actually is a huge labor of love that they put into this game.
Aww.
Because that's what they like do when they're like off season, is like work at like horror like amusement parks and whatnot. So all the artwork on each card is different. Nothing is repeated. It's all different, and it's all like comes from like their knowledge and their own love of like spookiness and haunted houses. I'm feeling emotional. It's because I could like feel like their passion behind the game, and like knowing how like excited and passionate that they were about the game, like something that they like genuinely love, and like put it into another thing that they love. I was like, you know what? It makes me even more excited to play it, because it felt like, because I was excited about the theme. So I feel like the theme is going to like show through.
So one of the booths that I just had to run to was Dice Throne. I've got some great friends over there, and I was like, I finally get to meet my friends. And so I ran over to Dice Throne, and I was, meeting my friends, checking out all this great stuff. And then all of a sudden, Maddie Tremblay. Like, I look up and, like, Maddie Tremblay's there. So if you're not familiar, Maddie Tremblay is the one who does all of the artwork for Dice Throne and a lot of other games, too. But primarily Dice Throne. I feel like lots of people know him from that. And so I was talking with him, chatting with him. I was like, oh, my goodness. Like, I was, like, a little bit starstruck. And so as we were talking, he was asking me, he's like, okay, like, do you have like all the Dice Throne stuff? I was like, oh, like I don't have the new stuff, but like I have basically everything. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, you know what? I really want to give you my game. So he ran back to his booth and then came back, and he brought me a copy of Neon Rain, which I am really excited for. I know. And I was like, Maddie Tremblay wanted to give me a game, his own game. Like, I just was so honored. But this is a fast-paced 1 to 2 player card game, and the way he described it is like feeling like, I think he said like old school, like arcade type of game. It says it combines the excitement of arcade style fighting games with strategic dueling. I love dueling games. I love like head-to-head type of games. I don't know if that's what it is, but like I'm really excited about that. But it says you choose your hero, and you select from 12 different heroes with unique abilities. Then you attack from powerful combos. Then you have star power. Like a lot about this game is like collecting star power to swing the duel in your favor. And then you defend. So you play counter cards to slow down or completely block powerful combinations. So I'm just really excited to try this. I know I had somebody comment on the vlog that I posted a couple days ago saying that they granted themselves 2 games this whole PAX, and this was one of them.
One of the games of the game.
So I'm really, really excited to jump into this. And thank you so much, Maddie. It just meant so much to me. And then I know Dice Throne is also doing this. It's what is it called? It's like not ring tournaments, but kind of where they're kind of like introducing like little promo things. So I was able to get one of those for the Pyromancer.
I got the opportunity to talk to Bite Weekend Games. I'm pretty sure I talked to Nathan. I'm sorry if your name wasn't Nathan, but in my head it's like solidified as Nathan, so I picture Nathan to the face. And I was talking to him about all of his games, or all of the company's games for Bitewing, and had really fun talking to him about each of the games and talking to him about what all of his favorites were. And he's saying like, yeah, let me give you everything to to go home with. So I'm like, okay, sure, yeah, we'll take it. So I'm not as familiar with the smaller box games.
I'm not familiar with,
but
a lot of these.
We'll show them and talk about them, and we're excited to like discover more about them. Gussie Gorillas. It looks like it's a card game, 3 to 10 players, ages 8 and up, about 20 minutes. a peculiar group of primates that strive to keep each other gussied up and well-groomed. They sorry, now I'm laughing. They remove dirt, insects, and debris from the difficult to reach and difficult to see places of each other's fur. This sounds like a game that my boys like. And I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce this one right, but it's a Reiner Knizia game.
All of these are all
of them? Is
all
this
of them
one too?
are. Yep.
No, this is Nick Murray.
Oh, sorry, I meant these ones. So
okay.
the criminal capers collection. These are all Reiner Knizia.
Okay. So, do you know more about these? Or
No.
Okay.
I know a little bit about soda smugglers, so I'll chat about that.
So this is Puma Theosi operate in a strict hierarchy from the family's boss down to the lowest Quixote. Sorry, our pronunciation.
No, it's good.
Everyone wants to reach the top, but many find themselves 6 feet under. Stand out too much, and you'll soon find yourself in prison, if not murdered by rival families.
So this one's soda smugglers. It gives me Sheriff of Nottingham vibes because it says lawmakers are cracking down on soda. Tight regulations have been made for lucrative smuggling. So you're trying to, smuggle things in past people. Like I said, it just reminds me of Sheriff of Nottingham a little bit. So.
Okay. And then chapter 3 of the Criminal Capers is Hot Lead, a card game of undercover investigations. Lead the undercover investigation against 5 criminal groups and gather enough evidence to convict them. However, if you investigate too aggressively, the criminals will smell a rat and go dark. Again, it's 2 to 5 players, ages 8 and up. This one says about 15 minutes. So chapters 1, 2, and 3.
And then we're not done with Bywing games. So we got Cascadito and then also Cascadero.
Yes,
this is another Reiner Knizia, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
I think so.
Reiner Knizia, and then this is like a roll and write kind of version of this game, from what I'm aware.
I'm super excited about both of these. These were on my short list for like the artwork. Like I was obsessed with
so
the covers.
Beautiful.
I've heard like this is like a lighter, more like kind of entry level game versus this one's the more kind of meaty, nitty gritty one. You get to plan routes and visit towns in this deeply strategic tile placement game. I love a tile placement game. Carefully time and trigger escalating combos of exciting bonuses. Build long chains of envoys for strategic synergy or establish smaller groups for tactical bonuses, and featuring intensifying player interaction, variable board setups, and an advanced mode. So, I don't know. It's 2 to 4 players. It says ages 14 and up, but everyone knows that's a...
Yeah. Well, it's nice that they gave us both because I would like to do I want to do a video comparing them.
Yeah, and that's why I was talking... I was telling Nathan, I'm like, I think it would be, a really fun idea to be able to, like, do a compare and contrast of
so
the 2.
We'll do that for sure.
Yeah.
I also got Spectral, along with
behind the tower.
All the fancy upgrades that make Spectral so nice. I have been dying to play this game all year, honestly. It's a deduction game, and so in this game you're trying to find treasures and beware the curses in the haunted manor treasure hunt. I love deduction games. Love me a good deduction game. And this has been on so many people's lists of like their favorite deduction games or great games from this year. So I think this is going to be a really, really, really good one.
The art is by Quanchi Moria.
Oh, yes.
So I
love Quanchi Moria's artwork.
Yeah.
And then another game which I am so excited to try. I have been dying to play this one too.
I'm super excited about this one too.
Trailblazers. And then he also was kind enough to give us the Sasquatch expansion pack. But yeah, this game is awesome. And the cool part about this game is this is obviously the nice like box version, but you can actually get just like a smaller travel little case version of the game. And I think this big version actually comes with the travel case as well.
Yeah.
This is just like a nice, quick card laying game where you're trying to connect paths and trails. And then it has also, I forget what the animals do in it, but there's these little animal things. I forget what they do. But yeah, I have been just so dying to play this game. So I'm so happy.
The thing that I was excited most about it is that it plays 1 to 8 players.
Yes.
And I am always looking for a game for like our game night group that both I can like play up to a large group of people. But then Nathan was also telling me that he's not a big solo gamer. And I was like, yeah, me either. But he's played this game solo, he said, like 100 times. So I'm like,
I've heard it's really good.
That's perfect. It just sounds like it's, so I'm really excited to both, like, try it out solo and then also have it for like game nights. The other one that I was super excited about from Bite Wings Games is Zoo Vadis, or is that Zoo Vadi? I don't know how you say
Zoo
it.
Vadis.
Zoo Vadis.
At least that's how I say it, but it might be Vadis. I don't know. Zoo Vadis, Zoo Vadis, Zoo.
I don't know. Someone
Whatever.
tell us. We'll go look
Speak
it up.
with your heart.
How do you pronounce it? And this one, the theming and the mechanics of this one have intrigued me for a long time. Carly has said that she's heard like really mixed things about it, but Nathan said that this was his personal favorite.
Oh, okay.
And whatnot. So I was like, yeah. But what if the animals were the ones who ran the zoo? You get to, there's like negotiation and trade with rival animals. There's different animal factions that you can play as. Positioning your animals within key exhibits at the zoo. I don't know. It just sounds... And it plays 3 to 7 people. And it doesn't seem like it actually is that long of a game either. So
Yeah. Super excited. Yeah. Fuego was on my list of games that I had to run to and check out. So excited about this one. It's it's not only 2-player, or is it 2-player? I can't remember. I thought it was a 2-player game, but now I'm looking on the box and it doesn't say. So I might be wrong. Maybe it's more than 2 players. I don't know.
We talk about pet peeves. That's one of my pet peeves about games.
When it doesn't say it on the box,
the player count.
Well, I'm pretty sure. I mean, if it's not only 2 players, I know you can't play this with 2 players. But it's a trick-taking game where it says play with fire in this blazingly fast, smoking hot card game. I saw it being demoed and kind of explained and talked about. And after them explaining, I was like, oh yeah, like I really want that. I've been kind of trying to get more trick-taking games. And this just seemed like a good one. And I love like the fire theme in this.
Yes.
And you have like flame tokens and
cute
matchbox. Yeah. As I saw it being demoed, it just kind of felt like I had a good kind of like give and take back and forth. So I'm really excited to check this out. I passed the booth and I'm like, yep, I need that one. So
I'm already obsessed with this one. This is one that I actually like have dove into immediately. I got the chance to meet Mark, who's one of the designers of the game, and he was able to tell me about the game a little bit. I mean, I already knew a bit about the game, but it's always more exciting to hear from the designers themselves and hear their passion and their excitement. And he was able to like elaborate on the theme a little bit more and like talking to me about how dangerous this is for astronauts to they want to be connected or whatnot, because otherwise you're just lost in space. The game is super unique and interesting. 2 or 4-player game, so you can play 2-player game where one person is you're trying to align the cards by vertically in like number order, and then the other player or team is trying to align the cards horizontally in numerical order. And you're like making these groups, and you're like connecting the cards together to try to get like the grouping bigger, and the bigger groups that you are connecting, then you can possibly score more points. It's really, I don't know, I really like it already. I dove into it by myself. I played as both players. I'm like, I should have felt like I'll film a video of me. This is how I learned this game. And then Carly was over super briefly, and I was like, you know what? I have to teach you this game right now before you go.
I just have to talk about this game for a second. This game might be my favorite game. I mean, we have yet to dive into any of these. Some of these I actually have had the opportunity to play, but this game is so freaking good.
It's so
good. I remember hearing, I think it was on the Dice Tower. I remember seeing it, like they announced it or something. But I feel like that's the only time I've heard about it. It's like kind of like that brief moment. But then when Kim sat down and started teaching me to play, it is so fantastic. Yeah. I feel like this is like the hidden, like it's so good that I literally ordered the game right after she taught me. I was like, I need this game. So I immediately went on, ordered it. So mine's coming in a few days because it is just that good. Like I feel like it's like the hidden gem that we were able to get out of all these games. Like I'm excited about all these games.
I got it
but like
this is very end of PAX, like right before we really.
It's so unique, and it's just smart and clever and quick, and the artwork is beautiful. I love the artwork too. It's so good. When we did our games that we would run to at PAX, I actually hadn't heard of this game. It wasn't until after we had actually filmed that I started seeing people just go crazy about this game. Like, it was all over my feed. It was all I could it was like I just saw it everywhere. And so I said, okay, like I need this game. And I had a feeling, I'm like, I just know it's going to sell out by the time Sunday rolls around. And sure enough, it did. Yep. So I was so depressed about it. And I was telling Kim on the way down, I was like, I'm so sad because one of the games I really wanted is already sold out, so I guess I'll just have to go find it somewhere. And Kim was kind enough to, when we got back, she hunted down a couple copies for us, and this game is Flip 7. So this is a really just kind of quick push your luck card game where you are flipping over cards, and you can go as far as you want to, but the moment you flip over the same number, or a number that had already been revealed, then you're out.
Yeah, you get out. Yep.
And there are cards that potentially you flip over that force you to flip cards or force other people to flip cards or whatnot. I think the reason why this was going crazy was because the Dice Tower just recently did like their top 10 push your luck games, and this was mentioned multiple times on that list was this game. So the fact that it was mentioned multiple times and it's a brand new game, like you've played it. I haven't yet played it
I've only played it by myself.
Oh, by yourself. Okay, that was still the same night.
I did the same night I did Tether by myself. So I dealt out 4 people of Flip 7. I was like, okay, here we go.
So Kim played Flip 7 and Tether, and then she texted me and she said, just played these 2 games and they're both straight fire. And I was like, okay. Like, I am so excited.
And I was playing by myself. So I'm like,
so imagine how good they're going to be when they're actually played the way they're supposed to be played. So thank you, Kim.
Oh, you're welcome.
Christmas
Merry
gift.
Christmas.
It was so sweet.
Yeah. The other thing that I found kind of interesting about this game is that it just says 3+ players on the back. And then it says in the rules, like, if playing with 18 or more people, we suggest playing with 2 copies. So I'm like, really? You can play up to 18 people?
I love how it's just a suggestion.
Yeah.
Like, you can still play it, but...
So I'm like, okay, all the holiday gatherings are all just going to be Flip 7. Here we go.
And can we say, I love how the box is so shiny.
I know.
It didn't have to be shiny, but the fact that it does, it makes it feel like really
prettier.
fancy,
yes,
right? The next booth was Wacky Wizard Games, who was so kind to give us all of these games. So Caution Signs is a party game. I got this primarily for Kim, because I know Kim's family does a lot more party games than I kind of tend to do. You kind of have a lot more people usually.
Yeah.
So I'm excited Kim has like a weekly game night, so I'm excited to try this out. You're warning your friends of hazards they don't know existed. Whether you encounter a stylish rhino, grassy monkeys, or melting babies, you have only 20 seconds to sketch a caution sign to signal to the others to be on the lookout. So yeah, it just kind of seems like a fun little quick drawing game, basically.
Yeah, my kids love telestrations.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of seems like telestrations adjacent. Robot Quest Arena, I have been really interested ever since when did I go to Level Up? 2 years ago? Is that when I went to Level Up?
Yeah.
This was laid out on the table, and I remember looking at that being like, I'm pretty good at I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on most games, and I had never seen this before, and I was like, wait, what is that? So I kind of looked more into it, and you are taking control of robots with the cards in your deck, and you're using battery cards to get the energy you need to move and acquire powerful new upgrades for your bot. There's literal pre-painted little robots that are
super
aren't
cute.
They so
Yeah.
cute? So my kids have really been interested in this one, so I'm super happy to be able to kind of break this out and play it with them. And then this was a new one that they had at their booth. I'm trying to see. We've got no room.
Star Realms.
Star Realms. So it's a deck building game. I think it's supposed to be an introductory, either play with your kids or new people, introductory to deck building a little bit. It looked really pretty on the table. I really liked it.
This is a family-friendly, kid-friendly version of Star Realms, which is a deck building game, which I've not played.
I haven't played it either.
Now I guess I need to.
Yeah, I mean, if we like this one.
Yeah.
But it looked it was so bright and colorful on the table. And I just thought it would be a good one to try out. My favorite part about cons is meeting up with friends. And so we were hanging out with Board Game Co. and Jenna from Board Game Garden and Professor Meg and all those people. And so at one point I kind of re-met up with Alex, and he said, oh, Meg and everybody, they're over here, and Meg is kind of giving the spiel to everybody about Post Curious, their and their games. So I was like, let's head over there. And so we started going over there, and then Meg's like, she comes up to me, she's like, Carly, have you played any of these games? And I've heard of some of them. They have like really beautiful, like puzzly games. And so Meg's like, oh my goodness. And she just sat and just gave me the whole spiel on all of them. And while she was giving me the spiel, Alex bought The Light in the Mist for me, which was so sweet of him. Like, thank you so much, Alex. But this is a really, again, their games are just so interesting. I don't even know how to describe them. But so this one, it's a tarot puzzle tale. That's like how they describe it. That weaves together hours of stunning artwork, storytelling, and unparalleled puzzle gameplay. So when you're done figuring out the puzzle, you have like a tarot deck of cards afterwards. But it says, when your friend's mysterious disappearance results in the discovery of an unusual item, you suddenly find yourself embarking on a journey through time and memory. So yeah, it's a choose your own path style gameplay as you solve a variety of challenges and lose yourself in a character driven narrative. So it says told through an object that serves as a tarot deck, a puzzle game, and a work of art.
Wow.
So I know I was just like, because I've been looking at their games. I think the Emerald Flame is Meg's favorite, but this one looks really good too. And so I thank you so much, Alex.
Well, my husband Joran, not Jordan, Joran, and my 2 kids, Archer and Shepherd, came along. Joran's pick, the game that he bought for himself and for the family, is Start Here. It's an introductory role-playing game, which he's been looking for. Something that is not quite as like expansive as Dungeons and Dragons, and maybe kind of simplifies things a little bit, because D&D, especially for the DM, takes a lot of like preparation, brain power and preparation, and like hours. It's definitely a labor of love. Super fun, but there's a lot that goes into it. So he found this, and because he had kind of been toying around with his own, like, how do I like take this thing and make it. And then he found this, and he's like, this is what I've been like just trying to do. Yay. And so when he saw it, he was like, okay, I'm gonna get this.
It's published by Each House RPGs.
Beach House RPGs. Yes. And then this other one, War of Beasts, the designer was there getting word out about his game. I had a chance to sit down with him, and my son Archer was obsessed with this game. It's like a take on the classic, kind of like a glorified, is that I guess the word, glorified take on the classic card game War, but it used beasts, and you have a hand of cards that you get to play, and you have like modifiers that you can play onto your card. And Archer really liked this game, and Shepherd bought it for him for Christmas, and at the end of the convention, Archer wanted to go and buy it.
You had to prevent him from doing that?
I had to prevent him from doing it. He was pretty upset.
I promise, we're getting close to being done. Can you believe the amount of games?
I know, look at this.
It's like overwhelming. Okay, so Devin was kind enough to gift me this one. So Devin from Devin Talks Table Talk, he works for Lucky Ducky Games, or Lucky Duck. What did I say? Did I say Lucky Ducky? I think I said Lucky Ducky.
Lucky Duck.
Lucky Duck Games.
That's what I'm going to call it.
I'm just going to call it Lucky Ducky now. But who got this? Somebody in our group had got this and was talking about it. And he was showing me, because I was like, oh, what is that? And he's like, oh. And he started talking to me about it. I was like, hey, I've never even heard of that one. And then Devin overheard me, and he was like, okay. So he went to the booth and got one for me. He's like, here you go. But it's a duel game, and it looks really fascinating because your cards have like little dots on the side, and when you duel, you are like lining up those dots.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like it looks, it's a
unique
quick
mechanism.
Yeah. It's a quick strategic 2-player game where every move could lead to victory or death. It's like a very, very quick game. It plays in 5 to 10 minutes. Like it's just a very quick, just kind of dueling game. And Devin said he plays the crap out of this game. That's what he said.
I feel like that's
literally
the kind of game you put in your purse.
Yes.
And then when you're like going out to dinner, and then you like pull it out while you're like waiting for your food.
I think this is exactly what that is. Yeah. Devin likes it. That's good enough for me. So thank you so much, Devin, for that one. Oh yeah, and I also got a cardboard alchemy pin. I cannot remember. I got this at the very, very beginning, like before the hall even opened. Somebody handed this to me. I don't even remember who it was. I don't know if it was Ammon. Somebody gave me this. So if you're watching this and you were the one that gave this to me, please comment down below. Thank you so much.
One of the other things that we got was the tray.
The tray holder.
The tray holder from Modern Meeple. Shout out to Josh, the designer and owner of Modern Meeple, who designs these beautiful
They're
like
component
deluxe
holders.
board game. I guess they're not components. They're
like component holders.
Yeah, component holders. Yeah.
This is my copy, and so that's what these do, because we've kind of
Smells
been
good.
I know we've been like accumulating these, and so Kim has so many, like she needs
I
the
needed
bottom
the
part
stand,
to actually
so-
hold them so they can like be displayed super nice.
He also has like Lazy Susans that you can put these trays in.
They're my
spin around.
favorite.
Yeah.
I love these so much. So this next one is kind of a cheat because I technically actually didn't get this at PAX, but I ordered it like right before, so I'm counting it.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And the reason why I ordered it because I didn't know if it would be there or not, because I looked online and it was like almost sold out everywhere. I've been hearing so much about it, and I was like, oh, I just need to get it, and so I kind of like rage bought it. So, but this is
I like
River
that
of
you
Gold.
say rage bot, but it's more like panic bot.
See, I need to change my terminology. I always say rage because I just feel like I'm raging when I'm like, I gotta get it. So the reason why I panic bought this was because a friend of mine referred to it as feeling a little bit like Lost Ruins of Arnak. He said it's nothing. It's nothing like Lost Ruins of Arnak, but it gives me similar vibes.
Yeah.
And that was enough for me to be like, okay, because Lost Ruins of Arnak is like my favorite game of all time. I love Lost Ruins of Arnak. So if there's a game that kind of gives me a similar puzzle or something, and like I said, I've just been hearing a lot about this game. It looks really cool on the table. The river is like actually golden. It says, build your trade empire on the river of gold while fiercely vying for influential status among the nobility of Rokugan, a legendary realm where divine favor can alter your fortune. So yeah, it looks really interesting. I'm really excited to dive into it. So yeah, I kind of panic bought it. Queen Games was so kind. I was kind of walking around the hall and I stumbled onto their booth because I really wanted to check out Dabawala. I know a few of my friends had talked about this a handful of months ago. So I was just kind of looking at it, and then the gentleman, I can't remember his name, but he came up and we just started talking and started talking about the channel, and he was like, oh, like, have a game. So he gave us Dabawala. This is, I didn't realize this, but apparently, and I might be misspeaking, but he said something along the lines of this is a really special game for them because like their owner or founder or something is Indian. So this game kind of brings in Indian culture for them. But this is a game where you are delivering food boxes to the people in India. And it's interesting because you literally are like stacking up like the food cartons on the back of your little thing, and you're going around and delivering them. It just looks like a fun pick up and deliver game. And then we also were able to get our hands on, this is not a final copy of the game, this is just a very prototype of Flock Together. This is their expansion called Birds of a Feather. It primarily just offers new chickens that you can play as, and then new predators. And it's funny because if you watched our review of it, I liked the game. There was stuff that I felt was kind of lacking for me.
Yeah.
And when he handed this to me, he actually said, I tried to actually make some of the chickens, like I tried to take your advice. And so some of the predators, he said some of the predators, he said, I tried to kind of make them feel a little bit more like they were kind of hurting you back or attacking you or doing something. So I really want to try this out to see if it actually does kind of feel that way to me. But it's a beautiful game, and the production of this game is insane.
We also
and we got the sweatshirts. Like how cute
so
they are.
So this one is 100-acre hooligans.
It's so fun.
The
puns. The puns are punning. If you like puns, this is like the game I would point you to. Okay, we're going to open it so we can read off some of these names. Cluck Norris, J.R.R. Yolkin, instead of J.R.R. Tolkien.
Weezma and Clonk.
Oh my God. It even has the little head.
I know. Oh my gosh.
It is so good.
I'm obsessed. I didn't walk away with Miss Wind, but I regret not walking away with it.
We should do a whole nother videos of games we regret. Because there were a handful that I was like, because I was so busy trying to just simply meet up with the people I wanted to meet up with. Yeah. Like I would pass a booth and I'd be like, okay, I'm really interested in that. Let me circle back around. And then I just never ended up circling back around.
I had already talked myself out of it because we already, it was when I finally made it to the Miss Wind tent. It was towards the end. We already had all these games that we had collected.
Packed to the brim.
And I was like, it'll just end up like as much as like I want to dive into it, there's so many other things that like content and videos that we'll have to, and games that we have to learn that, and we still have some even from before PAX that we have to dive into. And I was like, oh, I just like I couldn't justify it quite then and there, but now I'm like, I should have just done it.
Try to hopefully get that one. So the last thing that I want to chat about really quick are these cute little dice that Board Game Dave, if you don't know, I was able to meet up with him and we played Obsession, which was so much fun. And at the end of it, he's like, oh, I was at my local game store like last week or something, and I saw these dice and they made me think of you. And they're just like little bumblebee dice. There's like cute little bumblebees really on them. They are adorable. And he also gifted me the promo, or like a promo tiles. It's actually over there. Some promo tiles for Obsession. So thank you so much, Dave. That was so sweet. If you don't follow Dave, definitely go do that. Go follow all these people that we talked about. Follow all the publishers, all of the content creators. I'll just link everything below that you need to go do after this. But I mean, look at all these freaking games, guys. Yeah. We have so much content that is going to be coming your way with all of these games. If one of these games is particularly standing out to you, please comment down below. Let us know what games you are really interested in seeing from this list, so we know which ones to focus on first. Again, huge shout out to all of the amazing publishers and friends and everything that we were able to meet and connect with at PAX. It was such a wonderful experience for us. It really was.
Got emotional.
I think Kim cried like 3 times.
I did.
I definitely cried once, but Kim cried more than me for sure. Because it's just like you're sitting there and you're just looking at everybody come together and just like, just like reach out and talk and just so friendly and just communicate, like, I don't know, just bond over a hobby such as this.
Yeah, the first time that I cried, I was walking and I had to stop. And I'm like, why am I crying? I know. And it was just like a moment where like, I can't believe this is my life right now. I just get to be with all of these people who are equally as excited and passionate about board games, but like the magic of, I'm like, people say Disney World is the happiest place on earth. I'm like, no, this right
PAX is right
here. Like gaming and like just connecting and talking, and it was just I love board games.
Me too. So if you've never been to PAX before, please try to come next year, because we're planning on coming. But PAX aside, we are also planning on going to the next Level Up event, which I'm going to do a whole separate video talking about that. But that's going to be the end of January.
Yeah, I had this realization. I'm like, that's next month.
That's literally like in a month. It's like in 5 weeks.
Like it feels like, oh yeah, it's next year. But like, oh no, that's actually
next month. So if you want to come and play any of these games with us and more, try to come to Level Up, because we're going to be there.
It'll be super fun.
Literally gaming for just 3 days straight. So we'll have so much time. This trip was crazy. Level Up is going to be chill.
It'll be the retreat.
It's a retreat. Exactly. Yep. Level Up retreat. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today and putting up with my awful voice as we unbox all of
Everyone
the games.
Loves a good raspy
voice. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will just see you next time.